Hello, friends. You're welcome to the Wise Builders and My Godly Spouse online weekly platform. My name is Reverend Dolapo Agoradeni. I'm a pastor, I'm a lawyer, and I'm a relationship coach. Is there anything bothering you? Life comes with some challenges sometimes. If you want to rub minds or you want confidential advice, are you single? Do you want to marry? Do you want me to vet your relationship for you? Don't fall a victim. You know, where children of God are, the children of the other side are as well. So, if you know you want to do things right, or you've made a mistake and you want counseling, sometimes quitting is not the best way forward. You need to fight it out in a very godly way. You need a godly counsel. So speak to me after the show. My numbers are on the platform and how you contact me. Thank you very much. Looking forward to see you. Sit back, enjoy this show. It comes weekly on Wednesdays, and I trust you will not regret your time. God bless you all. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. You're welcome to the Wise Builders. Tonight, I'm so excited to see some of you. God bless you. Good evening. If you're new on this platform, my name is Reverend Dolly Dolakwa Goradeni. It's good to see you and to hang out with you tonight. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Let's bring it on. Let's call our friends and family. Let's call our loved ones to watch with us tonight. It's good to see you. I'm just checking my Instagram page. I haven't been on Instagram for a very long time, and now, so I think we're on Instagram. Okay. God bless you. It's good to see you tonight on the Wise Builders. I'll just go straight to the point. Apologies, I couldn't come yesterday. I don't do Thursdays. I'm a Wednesday person. Wise Builders is Wednesdays, 8:30 p.m. weekly UK time. Apologies, yesterday I had some emergencies I had to attend to, but I just thought, it would be better to still do the show without canceling it. So that's why I'm slotting it in for today. So it's okay if you're not online, but you can always watch it and catch up with it. So it's good to see you. So how's your day been? I trust by His grace, everything is well with you and your family. Everything is well with your home and your loved ones. And I pray that the grace of the Lord will continually be upon us all in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. So tonight, like I was saying, I'm going to talk about relationship. That's what I always do. But tonight is all about roles and responsibilities in our relationship or marriages. Roles and responsibilities. On the Wise Builders, we're building wisely. We're advising ourselves. We're looking into ways of upgrading ourselves, updating ourselves, looking at things we're doing wrongly, looking at a lot of misconceptions, looking at things we ought to do rightly, and how to better our lives and our relationship. One of the things that I like most in life, when I was young and I used to go out, or especially when I came to this country, during my early days at secondary school, I used to come on holiday. But when I came to settle fully, and that was after I'd finished uni and of marriageable age, that period that you're thinking about marriage, you're praying about marriage. There's one thing that I love so much. One of the things I see in this country, which I still admire, we have a lot of different views about Europe and advanced countries and things like that. But the way people say it, but the way I see it, I take the ones that I think are good and the ones that I don't like as sponge. So one of the things that fascinates me or I love most is when I see elderly couples. I still fall in love with it to tomorrow. I was still watching the news the other day and I saw this elderly couple in their 80s going for vaccination, looking forward to it. There's nothing more than growing in love. growing together in love. So it fascinates me. It's something I admire so much. A man and a woman holding their hands, walking the walk of life together in your old age, doing things together. You look at yourselves, those people at that age, they're no longer the bond between them. And that's one of the things that we don't understand. The bond between you and your spouse is more than the bond that you have with your biological siblings. But most of us, we still hold tight to our biological siblings, that we forget to nurture our homes, our lives, our marriages, and then build on the rock that we are going to rest on in our old age. We all are going to grow old by the grace of God in Jesus' name. So it's something very important for us to consider. So that's why I can never exhaust the topics on relationship. There's so much going on in relationships. There's so much going on in marriages that if we put our minds on, if we are particular about them now, then we will prevent divorce. I've seen couples and things, they got it right. They are okay. They are cool. 5 years, 10 years down the line, they just realize they're nowhere and there's no content to hold them together. Because every one of us, especially those of us that comes from Africa or from the Black and minority ethnic, we are not really taught. We see our parents, our role models, most of the time, our parents. And sometimes they're not right. Sometimes, they get things wrong. But we follow all these things and it becomes a manual that we use. So along the line, when we grow old and we find ourselves in marriages, all these things start playing up. So tonight, we're going to talk about roles and responsibility in marriage. The first one I want to talk about before we even talk about roles is our responsibilities in marriage. Sometimes it takes maturity. That's why you see people sometimes in their second marriages before they understand. And by all means, some people are blessed that their first marriages, to be honest with you, they got it right. They got it really right, and then they're doing things right in their early marriages, and then they know what they're doing. But for some of us, unfortunately, it looks like we don't get it right. So tonight, like I said, apologies, Instagram wasn't live before. You're welcome, everyone on Instagram. I don't know why that delay. We had that delay, but you're welcome. I've not been on Instagram for a long time. I deleted the app. I just got fed up of a lot of apps. So back on, my name is Dolakwa Goradini, and I present the Wise Builders every Wednesdays, 8:30 p.m. UK time. So if you are joining us for the first time, enjoy. So tonight, responsibilities, like I'm saying, responsibilities are some things that we take for granted. And if you look at most of our homes, one of the things we fight about or we do that causes issues in our marriages is the responsibilities. Things like I'm paying the bills. Some of us that come from BAME community, we even struggle. Nowadays, some of our men, they are so wonderful, they don't even want to take. You've had that thing nowadays that people don't want to take responsibilities because we've defined unnecessary responsibility for the men that most of them are overwhelmed. And then the woman wants to do it. You're thinking, oh, I'm stepping out of bounds. Oh, they will think I'm controlling him. They will think, oh, because all these responsibilities have been defined. And nowadays, the situation we are in and the world we are in, it is good. And I pray, and I'll pray for any man by the grace of God that you be the head of your home. I always pray for men, whatever you need to be the head, that your hand, I pray, and I pray for my men, whatever that will take you for your hand to be above, the Lord will ensure it in Jesus' name. It is good for a man, for every man to be provider of his own. But nowadays, there's nothing wrong in if a woman is being blessed to empower the man, and then she does things herself. But we're not talking about the financial aspect alone, but these issues have really messed us up. So tonight we're talking about roles and responsibilities in our homes. These roles and responsibilities, as minimal as they are the cause of divorce in any home. They're the cause of divorce. Oh, is demanding too much on me. Is taking the piece, according to what we normally say, quote and unquote. Oh, he's taking me for granted. No, So our roles are not defined. Our responsibilities are not defined. And some do define them. Because this thing, there's danger in either you defining it or over defining it. And at the same time, if you just leave things like, into assumption or whatever, you find out that sometimes you leave things that you ought to do So there are things that we have to talk about, but talking about it in a very mature mind. That's why you see people nowadays, some people go into like marriage of convenience, not that they've agreed that they go into marriage of agreements, or but they've kind of understood what the game is or are in the marriage. So the first thing I'll say about your responsibility in a marriage is determine your limits and values. Once you know what your values are, that's why I said limits and value, because most times these values messes us up, especially some of us that women and that we are boss women or entrepreneurs or professionals, or you know what I mean. So if you are not careful, the values that you've added to yourself, if you don't know the limits of your value, that you are still the woman, it can mess us up. Then the respect the limits and the values of others. Now, these are my values. These are your values. It's now about respecting the limits and values of others. Don't overstep bounds. Know your boundaries. Not that anybody is caging you, but respect other people's boundaries. If I don't like to be talked to in a particular way, respect. We find it difficult nowadays to respect somebody's limits. I say it. I found that so common nowadays that people jump at, even it happens outside relationship. The moment you just talk about your limitations, people just frown because they expect you to be what you don't want to be. So we should learn in life to respect our values and limits, to give your partner space to be their own. It's good to let people be. That is one of the things that is very dangerous for us. Nowadays, that's very, very dangerous for us. How many of us allows our partner to be who they are? We want to change people. I think maturity and age has taught me personally that you can't change people. You let them be who they are, because once you try to change them, they start pretending. So sometimes I sit back and I want to see that boy in a man play out. Every man has a little boy in them that is messing about, though it shouldn't be to the extreme. So own up to our actions and feelings. I have some women that cannot talk in their marriage. There's a woman, for example, that during love making, she will say to her husband to touch her, a married woman, in a particular way, and the man will flare up that she's a prostitute. Do you understand? So these are things that you must own up to your action. That's on one side. When you are angry, in a polite way, let your spouse know that you're angry. Those are your responsibilities, to let the other person know. Some of us, which I used to be years ago, I will sulk. When I'm angry, I just sulk. I withdraw to myself. I still do it. I'm still a very sensitive person, and some of us are, but I've learned to voice out. Because if you happen to be going out with somebody, or you're married somebody that's very busy into himself or herself, and you're sulking, they may not know what the problem is with you. So you can sulk, that is you, withdraw, but when they ask, say it, and don't bottle it. Don't say just let's leave it. I found out that when we leave it like that, we pile things together and it messes up. And another thing is the responsibility to communicate clearly. Just say what you want to say. Don't be rude. Don't scream. We spoke about conflict resolution last week, and say it honestly. Don't add 2 + 2. Give honest accounts. Now, the next point I want to talk, because we have a few things to talk about. Please, the way we run on the Wise Builder, please write your, not comments, write your, what's it called? Questions, or if you have any comments, especially those on Facebook, I'm going to read it out. Please write comments. If you have any questions as we go on, write your comments and your questions. So, the next one I'm talking about is to compromise when needed without compromising yourself. Compromise. I've talked about compromise before, and I may bring it up again. Compromise is one major thing. It's good. You see, when I married those days, she was my brother's mother-in-law. She's a Spanish woman, and after my marriage or wedding, she hosted us. I remember, words matter to me. After dinner, she said something to us as newly wedded. She said, marriage, they say, is a contract. As at that time, she's been married for 20 something years or early 30 years. Yeah. She said, they said to her, marriage is a contract. But she would say to me that marriage is not a contract, that marriage is compromise. And I looked and I frowned and she laughed. She said, yes, it is compromise because if you don't compromise in marriage, you cannot enjoy your marriage. Now, these are the areas of concern. When you're talking of responsibility, it's your responsibility to compromise. You can't be static. You can't say this is the way I want to do things, but you must not compromise yourself. Do you understand? There's a clarity there. There's a difference between compromising and compromising yourself. I want to compromise, but I won't compromise my peace and joy. I want to make you happy, but I must not lose my own joy in the course of making you happy. So do you see the difference? So you must be able to compromise when needed. If there's a decision, shift a bit. Sometimes when we are like, this is it, I won't budge, I won't change. It's danger. But see it from that compromise is seeing it from that person's point of view, move to accommodate them, shift things around, as long as they are not decisions that will affect your health or affect your life, So manage them in a way that you think, okay, if you're in their shoes, you should, but don't compromise on your joy. There's no way compromising and then you're crying all through the night. You're emotionally drained. That's not compromise. That's stupidity. So we must not be stupid. So ask for help when it is needed. Most of us, we don't like asking for help. I've seen couple that need something, but ego or pride does not make us to ask. Ask for help. If you don't know something, if you have an issue, ask for help. To check our actions. Sometimes when we do something it's a point that I've learned. Before, pride will not make me admit. And I'm saying this for us. Ask. Check your actions and decisions. Nobody's an island. I know some men, usually they don't like saying sorry and they will not admit to it. Their fault, but it's not right. Learn to do that. Ask for help and check your actions. When you've done something and you feel that your spouse or your partner is aggrieved by your action, what you could do is politely just say to them, I say that so much nowadays. I've learned that it's strength, it's not a weakness. Most of us think it's weakness, it's strength. To actually take responsibility for your actions and say sorry. If you feel your actions, some of us will still be insisting, yeah, I did it. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. It's cheap, it's weakness. It's actually strength when you say you take responsibility and you're sorry for your action, especially if your action is caused some detriment or some issues in your marriage or has caused things not to go well. So let's take responsibilities for our decision, and don't have power or control over our partner. I've learned that we women and men, sometimes when we love, especially women, men do take you for granted. Speak and talk about it. Have power. Don't control your power. Your especially when they rely on you so much. Don't control. Most of us, we try to use that as a bait and we control. And then as I go, I'm speeding on because I have a few things. I'm still going to go to the roles, and that's the most important thing. I'm just talking about responsibilities. Respect the privacy of others. Try and respect the privacy of others, please, including the rights to private conversation, phone calls, text messages. Most of us are still struggling on this. You feel as a spouse, you have control over his phone. You have control over, I know men that controls their women's accounts. They want to know everything that goes. You see, it's maturity. When you allow your spouse or your woman to tell you things, eventually they spill the beans. But once you start checking, I think it doesn't give us peace of mind. So respect the privacy of others. I know as couple, we shouldn't password. That's common nowadays. Everyone password their phone. I do have password on my phone. Not because there's anything dodgy, because of children and confidential things. But I think your spouse, even my children knows my password, but I still password my phone because it can get lost. It can get to somebody else's hand outside, and things their personal decisions, their company information, their emails and things that are confidential. So you can't just leave it, especially some of us that are diverse into one or two things and work wise. So I understand the need, but some spouses, they find issue in this, especially if you don't. What I will find issue is if you password your phone and I password man, and I you know my password and I don't know your password. I don't think I've got the time to start snooping, because I've got to that stage that if you snoop, I was going to talk about this last week, but I said I'm going to postpone it to next week. How we respond to issues, we disclosure. We all like full disclosure. Okay, if I snoop, what do I want to see? Let's assume you believe that your spouse is dating a girl, a woman. I'll let you say it. Sometimes they will lie about it. Just reassuredly take the lies, because to be honest with you, most of us cannot handle the truth. We cannot handle it. So if you think a lady said to you, you think your guy is cheating, and then you find your way of finding out, at the end of the day, you've looked for things that's going to bring your downfall. I was discussing with a sister friend of mine today, and we're speaking about a particular woman. This woman is very famous, very beautiful, and everything. But her husband, from what we gather, is a town's boy, a guy. And this woman makes herself happy. And one of the reasons why, she just assumes nothing is happening. And if it is happening, the guy is hiding up. She doesn't know. Yeah, they joke about it, they talk about it. But can you imagine the man doesn't live in UK? Can you imagine if the man visits and the woman is picking his phone and trying to, you will see things that will blindfold you. And at the end of the day, you will not be able to handle it. So respect people's conversations. Stop eavesdropping to try and find out what he's saying. Start checking his text messages, social networking, monitor all your guys or girls. It's good, but one of the freedom that we should have is respect people's privacy. Just respect them. If you suspect anything, I will say it. I will ask you dumbly, and I expect you lie to me. Or obviously, there's no man or woman that is cheating that you say, are you cheating? And you say, yes, I'm cheating. No. They will say things, and the way maturity, just laugh and just tell them, just be careful. Be careful. And, just talk maturely. Respect people's privacy. You find that they will respect you more and they will treat you with respect. But if you start snooping and want to find out and everything, especially they put their phone down, you're trying to look for the password. A woman said, some true women actually said things like to me that they bugged their husband's phone. People do that. One in UK and one in Nigeria. One actually bugged their husband's car. The bug was in the car. So when the guy is going for his own, the G immediately enters the car, is telling the baby, blah, 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 and everything. He hears everything until he confronted the guy and everything. At the end of the day, I'm not sure if they made it up now. They were on the verge of divorce. The other one in Lagos too called me and she bugged his phone. Everything, technology, everything that he does lands on her phone or to her. So the man will say, I'm going to Port Harcourt, for example. He will be in Lagos, lodging out with those side chicks. And the woman will be roosting and angry at home. Do you understand? I said, at the end of the day, they're still together. So sometimes these issues get difficult for us. So it's your responsibility to respect his privacy. Ask him. You can, if you sense things, I'm not saying don't talk about it, but let's do it in a way that will respect each other. So, because what we are trying to avoid, we are not mending or patching things, but we want peace of mind. We want peace of mind and maturity. So let's go to our roles in relationship. Roles is an issue that's disrupted most marriages, like I stated earlier on. People fall into particular roles and it gets them out of balance. You know, the roles play out in one of these two scenarios that I'm going to play to you. Roles, competition and scorekeeping. If you're not careful, roles in a marriage settles for competition. Let's give you, for example, who washes the dishes. We believe that it's a woman that washes the dishes. We believe that it's the man that drives. The man should bring most of the, you know, that's the way it should be. That's the role. Who will give back to the, who will tidy the bed, who will iron, you know, all these things, roles, who sweeps, who does laundry, who does this and that and that. So if you're not careful, competition starts. After all, I did this. I've seen that, and you agree with me if you're listening to me that these things do happen. The first thing that they will start saying, oh yeah, but after all, I'm the one providing, you know, and you see, yeah, after all, I cook. Yeah, you're supposed to do the laundry. You're supposed to, if we're not careful, then people start, we contribute. Don't even say that. We contribute equally. Why don't we just settle into these roles? I know it's difficult, you know. People use Bible, and I've used Bible to back ourselves up regarding these issues of roles and responsibilities. And I say it, if you look in the Bible times, the women do not work. When a woman is getting married, going to her husband's house, she goes with a servant or a slave to even assist her. Now, this is a woman that she's going as a virgin or whatever, leaving her father's house, and she's going with some maidens that will help her. So that the little chore of cooking and killing the ram and doing everything, she has assistance, because a woman is supposed to nurse the baby and take care of the baby and take care of the home, take care of her husband. So all those things, like going to the farm, going to the river to fetch water, you know, those things that takes energy, she has some maids. Now, look at, I'm not a feminist, and I'm not making a case, and I'm going to flip over and talk about the men. Look at a situation whereby nowadays women do work. We work, we take care of children, we take care of husbands, you know. I remember those days as I'm getting back from, we come together, men sometimes they, you know, we get home together from work, and he's going to the living room and he's putting on the TV and he's watching TV, and I'm there. I just put, and sometimes I don't even change. My bag is just by the staircase, and I'll just remove my jacket or something, you know, and sprint to work, making dinner and doing something, and you hear him say, "Dear, are you okay there? Watching football, Arsenal, hey go." You know, are you okay there? Would I say I'm not okay? Sometimes it does help. And I remember the day he was cooking, and I think I had some exam, and this young guy came to our home, and immediately saw him say, "Ah, Pastor, you are the one cooking. You are spoiling this woman. What if people sees you?" Because people don't mind their business. The odd day that you've come and you saw him cooking, that man automatically assumed that it's not a role of a man to cook. Says, "Oh." So don't let people define roles for us. Do what suits you. I've seen men nowadays, and people will say, "Oh, you're a bag carrier. You're just carrying a bag. You're useless." You don't know whether it's the woman. And then women too. When you're doing this, do like the Proverbs 31 woman. Do it maturely. Do it with all humility. So our culture has messed us up. So these roles leads to competition between us. And that's major thing. After all, yeah, it's supposed to give me 70%. Is it not the man? I'm the one doing 70%. But he's doing some other things. He's doing some other chores at home. So our roles in a marriage needs to be balanced properly. It should be done with ease. It should not be done with like expectation. Or, oh, if he doesn't do this. Thank you, Pastor Niyo Olusola. The Lord bless you, sir. Yes, cultural imposition. I was still going to talk about culture there. Thank you, sir. You are right on. Cultural imposition. Nobody imposes anything on us. It should be a free thing. I used to say it. My late husband is the one that makes the bed. I don't like making bed, but I iron. It's the man that's supposed to iron. I drove through. He never drove one day. Do you understand? So roles, So if I wanted to say that, say, oh, if you cannot drive, then we'll be stuck. So let's think about all these things. You know, most couples, they are stuck. Even in rivalry of interaction, they compete based on things, you know, contribution to the household. Hey, you brought 20%, you brought 30%, you are useless. I'm the one. If it's the woman that has much, it's called the family money, the family finance. Anything that comes in belongs to both of you. And the men too should. But I know nowadays our men too. So on that roles, especially in African parlance, men, we have this ego that we want to say is a woman that cooks, is a woman that takes care of the children. Nowadays, when we even see men pushing buggy, we start laughing and say, useless man. He doesn't have work to do. He's the one pushing the buggy. You know, so let's think about all these things. As I move on, let's talk about taking and renouncing responsibility. You see, this one is so funny. A part, let's assume, is the cooking thing. The woman takes responsibility. It's actually a feminine thing. It's biblical. It's cultural. There's the woman. That's why we're created. You know, we mix things. We know how to turn things around. You make food. You're supposed to make the heart of your husband satisfy you. Feed your husband both spiritually, physically, and sexually. That's the purpose of a woman. But doesn't mean that the moment the woman has taken that responsibility, we're born, is an inborn thing, and we are brought up that way. If only whether you're from Africa or culture or not. Now, it shouldn't be because I've taken that responsibility of cooking, then God forbid I must cook until I die. God forbid. No. So that's what taking responsibility and renouncing responsibility. Now, the husband thinks, it's our responsibility. I'll give you an example. There was a woman that I know her very well. She got married to this guy, and the guy came from Africa. To be honest with you, the marriage is dissolved now. Because I cry about these things because I've seen it happen to people close to me, or I've counseled people that's happened. So sometimes when I'm talking, it looks like, you know, I was speaking to a couple recently. I said, when I was speaking to you guys, you think that you knew everything. Bless you, Mary for you. Thank you. Pastor Mary, God bless you. God bless you, man. Thank you, man. You see, and I spoke to this guy, and I said, as much as we talk, it looks like talking is cheap. Now you are talking about everything. You are not listening. Married in 3 years now, you're out of the marriage. It doesn't add up. You see, it doesn't happen though. So all these things, taking responsibilities, like I said, it's difficult, and renouncing it. The moment one of them takes, oh, this is my responsibility, the other one cannot cook and say lazy. So this woman got married to this man from Africa. The man came and sat in the house. To be honest with you, I've said it on this platform. This woman is IT professional. Where she was living, she leaves home like 6 a.m., goes far, like 2 hours journey, and then over the weekend she's cooked stews in the freezer for this our daddy. I call them daddy, for daddy to wake up and just prepare something for himself. Daddy cannot even fry eggs. Daddy has assumed. So when the woman is coming, she's ringing him. She's on her way around 6 and say, Daddy, oh my love, what are we eating? He said, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. After his first visa expired, the woman did not renew it. He's back in his village now, eating egusi there and stuck, and said the woman didn't well. Oh, which woman in a modern time wants you to kill her? So this man renounced responsibility because somebody else had taken that responsibility. Meanwhile, if you want to talk about that responsibility of taking care of are you not the man? Are you not the one that's supposed to be fending? I don't know sometimes what happens to some of our men. To be honest with you, things like this gets me angry. It gets me angry because people don't know what they are doing. We hold on to funny culture. Yes, biblically, a man should fend for his own. And if you cannot, you're worse than infidel. It's deeper than even financial. It's deeper than financial. So look at the times. Times are changing. Sometimes the woman that the Lord has blessed. And yes, when the woman is blessed and she's fending for look at this IT woman. She bought the house, it's a mortgage. She's got the car. She did visa for you to come. You now sit inside the house. You'll be drinking stout and say you are daddy. Is the woman. You want to turn me into a bad carrier. Me, I will now be cooking for her. I cannot cook. And the woman will say, I actually asked her, I said, please, was there stew? Because I know some men are bad at cooking soup and stew. You know, I said, was there? She said, it's a weekend, I'll sweat. Saturday, I'll go shopping, opting pack, do everything, put everything in the freezer. For daddy to just do semovita and do gari and eba. Daddy will sit down till you come. Then this woman change. And on her way, she'll say she's ate at all. She said she'll branch at the Chinese, she will eat. Get home at 7, we'll be looking at ourselves. The nagging has started. So that is renouncing responsibility. I'm taking some comments. Pause with us, please. That's Sheriff. How are you, my darling friend? Bless you. Dolly, I really appreciate you for this topic. Yeah, it's killing my relationship. Thank you very much. That is it. God bless you for being very factual. That is the case. You know, taking and renouncing responsibility. When one takes it, the other one now say, because it's your responsibility. It's nobody's responsibility in this modern time. Anything that works in our home, that keeps, listen, people will talk rubbish. I've seen, you see, most people on marriages that fail is the fact that we're always looking at somebody else's marriage. Your own marriage is typical to you. I drove throughout my marriage. My husband never drove. People that knew my husband knows I'm saying he never drove one day. He's gone to lessons. He tried it. It wasn't him. As agile and, you know, very upright as in doing things. I just realized I got to a point that everybody is not everything. Everybody is not everything. So I just took it upon myself, and it wasn't an issue. Initially, I was nagging about it. Then after a while, I realized this thing is not him. In other areas, it is good. So let's not abdicate responsibilities. So don't renounce it because he's a man. He's a man. A man should not be seen in the kitchen. And we that we are listening, let's stop making issues difficult for our friends and family. Thank you, Pastor Mary JP. Amen. Always enjoy your program. The Lord bless you, and thank you for your encouragement. So this, you know, the one that's taking responsibility most of the time is always burdened. We want to assist each other. We want to assist each other. You know, don't let your spouse overfunction in one thing that they will start complaining. It's a woman's role to cook. We know that. But it's a man's role. You know, if you're the head of the home, she's just an assistant for you, helpmate to help you. So in any areas that you see that a woman is helping, please help as well. And women too, is your head. Help him. He must not die of finance. Remember too, a man called me from, I won't say where, outside London. He came, you know, on a sponsorship, and his wife is there. They're okay. The amount of money, when he told me the amount of money the woman is making, over 6K in a month now. This woman has, according to over 70-something thousand or 60-something thousand in her account, and they are renting. She refused to give money out. She refuses. All in the name now is the man's responsibility. And the man is not earning as much as she's doing. Let's be wise. Let's be wise. We're not saying anybody, but if you have it, share the responsibility. Make things easy for yourselves. It's your home. It's your children. Let's think of the future. To be honest, some things I don't understand. I don't understand. We want to be married. And please don't joke with your relationship, because you find out when he's gone or she's gone, she's gone. It's damaging to make a mess because of healed or wrong advices. Let's balance this responsibility. If your husband is doing well and is, you know, maybe let's assume he's making 1,200, for example, dollars or pounds. Your mortgage or rent is 800. You know, he has families. He has family. Some of us will say, if you allow him to have some more extra money, he will be using it on girls. Please, he has family. He has siblings. He wants to hang out. Let him be able to buy suits. Dry clean him. You know, occasionally take him out. Say to him, okay, don't worry. I'll pay for this. Let's just make life easy for ourselves. So these roles, let's balance it. When you see that one is doing it, is laying the bed, doesn't mean you will not lay it. And you start saying, hey, is it not your job? That should not come out. Nobody has any particular job. Is it not your, that's one of the things that kills any marriage or relationship. Is it not your job? It's nobody's job. Hey, you have to fend for it. Is it not a man? If he is a man that will pay the rent, even when he's out of job, some men will go and borrow. And the women will be putting their own money. They'll be putting it in savings accounts. Because it's a man's responsibility. It's not nice. So let us not, because one is taking that responsibility, let's not denounce it. So what is your role in relationship? I said it earlier on, I'm defining it. What is your role as you're speaking to me? If you want to sit down and think, what is my role in my relationship? I'm the mommy, I'm the daddy. What else do you do? Are you the breadwinner? Okay, your husband is the breadwinner. What do you do to support him? Have you ever sat him down to say, okay, you know what? You're giving this amount. Let me take this. Some of us will itemize it and we just make sure that even till, let's take it easy. I know it's good to save, but let's take this easy on ourselves. That's why you see couples, they don't go on holiday. They don't go on holiday. They don't go for dinner. You can't just say, let's go for a weekend, I'll buy the ticket. No, you can't do that because we're uptight. We believe the man is the one. After all, Pastor Yemisi and Pastor Goke and brother so, they went on holiday. Is it not the man buying it? So maybe the man is the last born of his own family. Maybe the man doesn't have responsibilities. Maybe your whole husband, the family he comes from, he has responsibilities. I'm not saying use that as an advantage, but let's balance things up. And if it's the woman that like the firstborn, and then our family is more demanding, let's balance it. To some, we don't have family that's demanding. Maybe your parents are okay. But your spouse could be the one that comes from a humble home that you need to support. So let's balance these things. Let's have shared ownership and take responsibility for the relationship. The responsibility of the success of your marriage is in your hand. Shared ownership, not 50-50 like they say, not shared and common interest. If this one is not doing, you get home. When I was married, our rule is whoever gets home first makes dinner because we're both full-time. And if I'm not working, we'll not be able to make ends meet. So we both agreed that we have a lot of demands, financial demands. Both of us are working. So we go. Whoever comes home, weekend, Saturday, I make stew and whatever, those things that you keep us going, and make them in the freezer. But you can't eat jollof rice today, eat same stew. You get home by the third day or second day. So our rule is whoever comes home, just boil rice, fry stew, fry egg, or does anything. And we do it commonly and joyfully. You know, not that this one wakes up as is showering the children, this one is sorting the clothes. Nobody really sat down to say, this, just know what your things are. Some women like hoovering, some men likes hoovering. Okay, it's your job. The house is dirty. It's Boyega's job to come and hoover. If Boyega is not there, no, I cannot be a fool for him. Nah. And the men should please don't take advantage. I know men don't like doing dishes, but sometimes when you finish eating and your wife is tired, do it. Women should do laundry. I know a man that says he used to do laundry. They are divorced now. Their story is quite different because he spoils the wife. He does on Saturday morning, he wakes up in the morning, allows the wife to sleep. He does the laundry. In fact, they used to call him Iron Man because he irons throughout the day and everything. So he does things for the wife, but the wife took advantage. The wife doesn't cook for him. And at the end of the day, the wife will wake up and say, oh, you're lazy, you didn't take the children out, you didn't shower the children. You were sleeping in bed. So can you see, because he's used to taking care of the children, the woman kind of abdicated responsibility for him and she'll be sleeping. And she's tired from work. So let's balance this thing. So what are your responsibilities? It should be shared ownership. It should be whoever gets it done. That should not make one of us run or hide. Whoever gets it done. Is the wife that cooks. We know that is the wife goes to the shop. But several times, is it that myself and my husband goes several times, he goes to the shop. He goes, whoever goes, just find things. What are we doing today? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let it be, let us. Let's do this. Oh, we have to do this. Okay, would you do it? Okay, let me do this one. Division of labors. Let's take, once we know that if we fail, the marriage fails, then it's our responsibility to make sure the bills are, okay, what happened? Okay, you know what? I'm supposed to give 700 this month. Mommy demands for 200. Don't over-labor the other party. If it's occasional, okay, don't worry. I'll make it up now. You know, but we always say things like, I'll borrow you the house rent. We women, we are terrible. We are terrible someone. Let me borrow you let me borrow it, because we know they do things with their money. So I was Pastor Lishola mentioned gender expectation. You know, gender roles are picked from our culture and family of origin. But the problem with gender roles is it carries a lot of hidden responsibilities and expectation, and then we get stuck. So let's be careful with gender roles. And that's one of the things I mentioned about is the man that pays the bills. It's good, but we get stuck. So when the man now loses his job, then it becomes a thing of regrets. They will start looking down. You useless man, you are sitting down there. Your mates are working. He used to work. So gender roles are funny. And then when the woman start breadwinning, she expects the man to start doing even to tie her laces. After all, you're useless. You don't have work. I'm the one working. There was a woman that I used to know in Dagenham in those days. You know, her husband didn't work for a lot of years because of status and everything. This one was working. She drove her husband to the extent that the man almost wanted to commit suicide. Everybody that knows her knew that she was the breadwinner of the family. Shame. Any easy thing she said to people, even in church, yeah, I can't kill myself. Can't you know I'm the one feeding my husband? I'm the breadwinner of the house. You know my husband is not working. Congratulations. Do we care? Are we interested in that story? No. We are not interested. How he works in your home is none of my business. If you like, put the bills down. If he likes, put the bills down. All I want to see you is united, happy. I don't care. And I think the world should get to that state that it's no gender roles here, because we get stuck. Because we are aware of our underlying assumptions and expectations, and then it freaks us out. Then the moment you see men are depressed, the moment they're unable, they lose their job because they believe everybody will start laughing at them. And even the women. So let's, you know, our responsibility is sometimes our expectation conflicts with our partner's eating expectation. I think, oh, my husband has to do this. My husband has to. So when I get there, it's not doing it. Like I gave you a good example. He wasn't driving. Initially, it was conflicting, and I used to freak out and they say, "All your friends are driving." Well, I drive 5 hours to Scotland, to wherever, and you'll be seated by myself. But later I realized this is just a weakness. He's tried it. You know, so those are things. Our expectations sometimes, and our friends, people have said, even his own friend has said to my face, I should stop driving him. You are the one encouraging. He's lazy. He wants to kill you. Even my family friends have said, it's going to kill you. You drive, you do this, you do. But the way he works on those things that he does are so much. When I compare, those things I do are different from the things he does. When it comes to bringing the family together, uniting us, running, even when I'm doing exams, it takes charge. A whole month. I remember when I was doing my professional exam, he just says, I just want you to go there and make us proud. He was cooking and doing everything. He said, did I study for 6 weeks or a month? I can't remember. For those periods, all I do, go to lecture, study, come back home, and I was reading. My food was coming to meet me on the bed. And he said, so when you look at things like that, you balance them up. I was supposed to. So a man was saying to me that he was nursing the children and did everything to the extent that his wife had degrees. So these gender roles should not be abused. So I'm now moving on to your rights. Please write your comments or question if there's anything you want us to talk about. So what are your rights in your relationship? Because if we talk about roles and responsibilities, and I don't mention, beg your pardon, and I don't mention rights, it will not be balanced. So one of the rights that you have is, the first one is to be respected and treated as equal. It's high time we knew that marriages should be treated equally. We are partners. We are co-laborers. We are running in hierarchy. The man is the head. When we're talking about equality, doesn't mean that, it's not respected. But when we are talking about our rights, you have the same rights as the man, and the man has the same rights as the woman. When that is misconstrued, then it messes us up. When a man thinks I have higher rights, no. Authority is different. The man has the utmost authority. There's difference between authority and rights. Authority is, it has the final say. It's the head of the home, as Christ is the head of the church. The man, followed by the mommy. But when you have to say rights, it's 50-50 rights. It's equal rights. You have to be treated as equal, not as a subordinate. And that is bad for us, especially some of us in Africa. Women are treated badly because they think we are subordinate. They think we don't even have a say. And we've gone past that age. These are things that have a ripple effect on how we progress in future. You need to understand the fact that both of you are equal in this business. Respect your husband. Respect begets respect. I say to people, to be honest with you, I think it's a man that dictates. A wise woman builds the home, but it's the man that lays the foundation. We are just building on it. It's the foundation that a man. So I always say to men, please don't lose your headship when it comes to these things. It's the foundation that men build most of the time that we build on. And by the time they realize it is always late, they want to change things. I always say to people, I said, don't lay unnecessary precedents. When you are laying the foundation, whatever you are sowing now, you will come back and reap. That is marriage for you. You have a right to suggest activities and refuse. You must not be a subordinate, whether the man or the woman. If anyone suggests anything, you have a right to say, okay, I want to get involved with it, including sex. You have a right to say, I'm tired, without getting beaten. You are not a property. You are not a piece of wood. And at the same time, the woman has a right to her husband's body. I gave you the story of a couple that when the woman wants to make love, it's got bad nowadays that even if sometimes women, we don't know our rights, that we can equally demand for sex from our husband. I'm not saying you can demand sex from. So you have the right when you're sleeping to tell him I want to make love to you. You don't have to be shy. It's not him. Especially in our father and mother's age, that they see them in the other room, like our president said, the other room. You have a right when you're sleeping together and to make love to him, to tell him I want to make love and start fondling him. You have the right to tell him I want to go on holiday. You have the right to say to him, let's go out. A couple story was brought to me recently, but I didn't have the permission to share it. That's why I dealt with it. It's so heart-wrenching. The woman cannot even lay claim. Her mother is begging. Mother calling third parties that help me to beg my daughter. They are dying, they are suffering. Their daughter is working because the husband has taken all her rights from her. Everything she earns goes to the man's account. She dare not give 10 pounds. And the parents are struggling. The woman was like, mustn't die. Help me to beg my daughter. What have we done? Just because the husband has taken her rights away from her. You have equal rights. Meanwhile, the husband is doing things for his own family. That your right is free access. If you give something to your husband, you must have the right to be able to take care of your own family. You shouldn't do it behind him, but to say to him, I want to send 20 pounds to my mother. I want to do this, I want to do that. So it's your feelings and idea to share them without worrying. That's one thing about us. It's your right to be able to say, honey or darling, I don't like what is going on in this marriage. I didn't like the way I was spoken to. I didn't like what you did to me. You must be able to voice it. When we start walking on eggshell and our confidence is eroded in a marriage, then we have issues. Our rights should not be taken away from us. And for those of us that are dating, when somebody speaks to you unfairly, you have a right to say, that's rude. Rude comment should not pass. Don't, when your man or your woman talk, some women, when they talk down their husband, you don't like it. Sometimes there are some things you say that you say it in a jovial manner, but it lands on their head or their heart in a very heavy manner, it's your responsibility, remember, to say you're sorry. But your right is to weigh when you think something is going on wrong, to say it and express your opinion and be heard by your partner. I witnessed a conversation from a married couple. Things like that. The woman could not speak. She doesn't have opinion. When a woman is talking and the man is saying, you shut up your man, what do you know? Same. It goes about vice versa. Some men, the woman shut them out, especially when they are breadwinners. So we have a right for our opinions to be heard by our partner. But I spoke about conflict resolution last week. This is not even about conflict resolution. It's about sitting together. Your opinion must be heard. There's a particular man that I know, Christian, that was doing a project. To be honest with you, all the woman knew was they were contributing money and the man was doing projects. Where is the project? Where's the property? They don't know. How much is it doing? Nobody knows. Our opinion doesn't count. The man will say, what do you know? Just shut up. I'm doing it on our behalf. That's not right. Some women do same as well. We just take decisions. We can't do that. We are partners. We're equal. We are running together for the same purpose, and then as I go on, to have my limits and values respected. Yes. I said that a lot. People don't know how to respect limits. It could be, I don't want to use weakness. Our values. These are my values. These are things. Okay, let's assume you married to somebody that drinks or smokes and you don't drink. I had a friend that left her marriage because the husband was forcing her to drink. And she said, if I want to drink, I want to drink of my own volition. If I don't want to, I don't judge you, but it's my values. I don't want to. If I want to pursue career, those are my values. Respect because you don't want to do masters doesn't mean I won't do masters. Or you say, what's the stupid thing? You say, no. So these are values and limits. If I don't want to do something, it's not that I'm frightened. It's my limit. Everybody has their limitations in life. And we have our strengths and weaknesses. So respect my values. I don't want that. Somebody like me, I don't like confrontation. I don't like it. Anything chaotic and confrontation, I run from it. When I see there's confrontation, I withdraw. So if you want me to start confronting, I used to quarrel with my late husband because I don't like confrontation. It's not being weak. It's just me. So respect that. When it comes to confrontation, and I say, I don't want to talk, leave me alone. And some days, nobody opens my mouth. I'll start talking like a parrot and I'll say my own. So these things are one of it. The one that's funny again that I wanted to add is sexual. The right to refuse sex. People don't believe that, but it's our rights in a relationship. It's a right. You can say, I'm tired. Not to use sex to punish your spouse, but to refuse sex, to say, I'm tired tonight. People say, a couple told me something about pornography. The man likes watching pornography. The woman doesn't like it. She refused it. The man is saying it's not submissive. It's what they wanted. You see, it's her right. In as much as she wants to carry the man along, she has a right to refuse what she wants to watch. You have a right to say, I don't like you touching me that way. You have a right, not to abuse each other's body. And then the worst thing is the right. I know people, this can be contentious a bit. The right to leave the relationship. Right to leave your relationship. When it's getting heated, especially for those of us that have not married, the right to leave. Most people are stuck in abusive relationship today because we don't know when to leave. It's your right. You are an entity. You're the apple of God's eye. You cannot condone abuse. So we all have a right to say, I've had enough. I can't take this abuse. I need a break. Yesterday, somebody called me about a couple, Caucasian, and then the man had been arrested. Obviously, this man had been abusing the woman, both medical professionals. So they are not illiterate. But because, her right, she's thinking, I don't want to talk. She almost died yesterday. The man, maybe, I don't know what he used, but banged something, I think a rod or stick or something on her head that became swollen. She had to call the ambulance. So they've arrested the man. They took him out of the house. So when they were calling me about her right, I said, it's her right. She has a right. Otherwise, she's going to die. So you have a right not to divorce outrightly, but to walk out of an abusive relationship. It's a right that you have. That most of us, they always say to us, yeah, God hates divorce. Yeah, God hates murderer because it's going to kill your enemy one day. You have a right to take a break. You have a right to report a counselor. Your marriage should not be discussed. You should keep things within your home. But when your rights are taken away from you, when your marriage lacks peace, you have a right to seek a counselor. You have a right to seek prayer. You have a right to speak to somebody about it. Those are rights that must not be taken from you. You have a right to your life. Because if anything happens to you, whether you're a woman or a man, it's going to leave. And you have the right to your privacy to be respected, like I said. You have a right to everything you want to do. So these are our rights in our home. So I've spoken about our rights, our roles, and our responsibilities. Please don't let any relationship take you for granted. Don't lose yourselves or yourself whilst compromising. Compromise, shift a bit. You cannot be static. You can't say, is it that we do it this way or not? No, that is immaturity. Nobody does that nowadays. But you should understand that you can move to the side or move to the left and say to him, you know what, okay, on this matter, okay. It's just like, let me give you an example before I round up. The man says you're relocating to Africa, for example, and you don't want to relocate. You can shift and say, we'll relocate, but I'll be coming around. You negotiate things. But no. A woman is having that issue now, and the man has given her ultimatum. They're newly married, she got a professional job. The man said, I don't like UK, it's been in UK, I'm not going with you. And she's not compromising. It's my career, it's my future. She's here, she's stuck, she's struggling. Come and join me. The man said, I'm not coming. I've told you before you left. I'm done with UK, I'm not going. Now she's struggling, and the man is saying, if you don't come back, now where's the compromise? She doesn't want to go. And she said, no, the man does not like his son. He should come and join them in UK. But he told you. So where's compromise? Those kind of things, you disobeyed. A marriage should be intact. So those are things that you have to consider. So now she wants the man to compromise and lose himself. She doesn't want to compromise. So in this aspect, it's a difficult one. Where's the compromise? The woman going back to Africa to meet him, or the man coming back? I think where the problem is from the start, they married in Africa, and the man told her, I'm not going to UK. She just said, I wanted to go and do my master's. Now master's has got a job. Now she's got a job, she's making money, and then the marriage is under threat. So please, let's remember, as much as we know our rights, now she's making money, she has that right, our responsibility is rubbing on her, our role is our responsibilities is rubbing on our role as a wife and a mother. So she's using that as a bait, because the man, where he is not making as much as she is. So she's controlling, throwing the dice, and the man is not having it. So there's pressure. So we need to know our limitations. We need to know we need to know our place. A woman is always, you're not subordinate, but the man, when it comes to authority, he shouldn't misuse it. And these are things that we have to talk about in the content. I've discussed about content of marriages. Most of us are in this ECOP, or however we say it, because there's no content. We don't talk about, okay, where do we want to live? What are we doing? What are our plans? What are our expectations? How many children? At every stage, we get to this. The rest, God will teach us, but the basic foundation should be laid properly. Thank you so much, everyone. I think I've been able to drive my points home. I didn't see so much of questions for contributions tonight. Thank you, Pastor Nee. Thank you, Pastor Mary. Thank you, my darling friend, Sherry. Bless you. Maybe I'll name you Pastor Sherry, because since everyone online is pastor, so we should give you Pastor Sherry. Thank you so much, Fagbo, and the Lord bless you. So I think that comes to the end of the Wise Builders tonight. If you have any topic that you want us to talk about, give me a buzz. and on my messenger or anywhere. My number is on the screen at any time. I only have one number. Give me a shout. It's on my flyers. It's everywhere. Or just message me on WhatsApp or Messenger, and then we'll talk. Or just drop a topic and speak on this. I'll pray and I'll research on it and I'll teach on it. The Lord will help us. It is desirable. I love it when I see couples unity. When I see couples, you see, the Bible says one will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000. When we pray together, mountains move. When we wake up on the same side of bed, things move for us. But when devil comes in, because of all these things, this is me, this is my role, then we will not be able to achieve what God wants us to achieve. And I pray that the Lord will keep you and he will make his face to shine upon you. Until next week, that I come back your way and I see you, the hand of the Lord will be upon you. The Lord will keep us and keep our home. As many of us that has issues in our marriages, the Lord will wipe it away, will wipe our tears. The Lord will cause us joy, everlasting joy in the mighty name of Jesus. The peace of God will rest and abide with us. The Lord bless you and keep you and make his face to shine upon you. God bless you, everyone. I thank you. Instagram family, the Lord bless you. Rains, I cite you. The Lord bless you. The Lord bless everyone online. I'll see you. It's Wednesdays. Apologies again for doing it on Thursdays because I had emergencies yesterday. I just had to do it today. So the Lord keep us. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you, my darling friend, Sherifat. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. I'll come back your way 8:30 p.m. Until next time, I'm Dolapo Agoradini. The Lord bless you and thank you for your love. Shalom. Bye-bye.